Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, and it has claimed many lives globally. The rising number of cases is worrisome and begging for urgent attention. The International Agency for Research on Cancer reported that in Nigeria, prostate cancer constitutes 29.1% of all male cancers in 2018, with an average standardized world one-year prevalence rate of 16.1%, less than 1/4 of the rate in the United States of America. Because screening for prostate cancer is not popular in Nigeria, most patients present late, thus making early detection an important aspect of fighting the disease difficult. What could possibly be responsible for the high rate of prostate cancer in Nigeria? Are enlightenment campaigns on prostate cancer key in winning the war? These and more will be the focus for discussion on Panorama today, coming to you live from the Lagos Network Center of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Adeola Komiakiri. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has given the assurance of the federal government to continue working with faith-based communities in the country to build on the achievements made in the past in ensuring lasting, peaceful coexistence among all religions and to building new ones. The Vice President, while receiving a delegation of from the Muslim Public Affairs Center, says in situations of conflicts, including ethnic and religious tensions, leaders must be willing to make sacrifices, even at the risk of their popularity, in order to attain long-lasting resolutions, peace, and progress. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Issues put on the table for discussion during the Katse visit include creating more awareness and understanding among adherents of all religions. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo expressed the need to understand, first of all, that there is no way that the nation can deal with the tensions between the faith and ethnicities in Nigeria today unless those in leadership are prepared to make some important sacrifices. In addition to leaders making sacrifices, the Vice President said the notion of respectful dialogue is also crucial, especially at this time, noting that setting up an inclusive platform for interfaith dialogue should be an important consideration by concerned stakeholders. Disu Kamur is the leader of the delegation.
We have to contribute to peace building, and religions, both Christianity and Islam, have rich traditions in them to inspire their adherents to live peacefully with each other. It is time that we continue to emphasize the similarities that we have rather than focus on the differences that have been setting us apart and setting us on each other.
The Vice President applauded the achievements of the center, urging it to be aggressive in the promotion of peace, unity, and religious tolerance. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meeting of critical stakeholders on the recent development in the security situation of Borno State has ended in the state capital with far-reaching recommendations on ways to approach the current wave of mass surrender by the repentant insurgents. The meeting, chaired by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, was convened to come up with a bottom-top decision that will be acceptable to all stakeholders of security situation in the state. Mohammed Guni reports.
The current wave of mass surrender by members of the insurgents necessitated the one-day interactive meeting, which brought together stakeholders from all walks of life to brainstorm and offer viable and pragmatic as well as all-inclusive approach that will cater for all issues and concerns raised over the surrender.
I want to listen to the general public, to the generality of people of Borno State. What is your own view? Because the decision has to be a collective one. The situation requires diverse stakeholders including representatives of our attack community, to come together and critically review the plans, pros, cons, and implications of the surrender in order to agree on a framework
Representative of all stakeholders from the national and state assemblies, traditional institutions led by the Shehu of Borno, security formation that include the military, police and Department of State Security, Borno Elders Forum, the victims of the insurgency, the academia represented by Vice Chancellors of University of Maiduguri and Borno State University, Ulamas, Christian community, Interparty Advisory Council, Labor, civil society groups, Nigerian Union of Journalists, the Nigerian Bar Association, as well as National Council of Women's Society, have unanimously welcomed the surrender of the insurgents.
We in the National Assembly are ready to give all the necessary support that will enable us bring this hopeless situation to an end amicably.
We get it right here. We all know that North Central, North East, and other parts of the country will equally know peace.
The 16-point communique issued at the end of the broad-based meeting, as read by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Kakasho Ulan, appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari towards ending the insurgency and other criminalities in Borno and other parts of the country.
The meeting appreciates the support of the federal government to the state, but however solicited for more funding from the federal government to the state.
The stakeholders stressed need for proper profiling of the repentant Boko Haram insurgents to avoid hasty release of hardened elements into the society. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Cancer is one of the leading causes of deaths globally. Prostate cancer has claimed many lives, and recent research reveals that it is on the increase. Early detection is important in the fight against the health condition. Diana Ajali in this report takes a look at causes of prostate cancer, preventive measures, and possible treatment.
Data by the World Health Organization, WHO, shows that 70% of deaths from cancer occur in low and middle income countries, Nigeria inclusive. The National Cancer Plan report for 2018 to 2022 reveals that cancer is responsible for 72,000 deaths every year, with an estimated 102,000 new cases annually in Nigeria. The numbers are scary, but the good news here is that prostate cancer cases and death can be reduced with the use of prostate-specific antigen PSA, blood test, and digital rectal examination DRE. A critical question is, how many people know about prostate cancer?
The kind of cancer that affects men at the rectum area.
The government should be able to do awareness for people to know about that prostate cancer.
How often do they go for screening?
Recently, I've not done.
I've not done one.
Enlightenment campaigns have been on, and experts are not relenting at ensuring that men do the needful as it relates to prostate health.
One major cause is age. How do you prevent getting old? The other thing is genetics. Things that you inherit from your parents, how do you prevent that? The only other way that I see that we can ameliorate the causes of prostate cancer is by early detection.
Experts say prostate cancer is one of the common types of cancers, so regular medical checkup is important as early detection is key to saving lives. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And joining us live via Zoom to discuss the prevalence of prostate cancer in Nigeria is consultant urologist Dr. Rufus Ojewola. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us on Panorama today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first and foremost, let's just hit the nail at the right spot. Is prostate cancer a death sentence?
Yeah, I will not say that prostate cancer is a death sentence. But as we know, cancers generally, they are of public health concerns generally, and the prostate cancer is one of them, and it's one of the commonest cancers that we see around. It is, however, not a death sentence because if prostate cancer is detected early, it can be treated and it is curable. So I will not say that it's a death sentence. It's something that is treatable if it is detected early. And I think that is why we are here to discuss how it can be detected early so that it can be curable. Thank you.
Okay, now, doctor, how can we, determine the presence of prostate cancer and its characteristics? Is it genetic?
Yes, prostate cancer to some extent has some genetic predisposition because we've seen situations where clusters of men in a family have prostate cancer. And we've also have situations where the grandfather, the father, and the patient who is the son now also have prostate cancer. So prostate cancer has a kind of genetic predispositions in individuals. However, that is not the only risk factors. There are a number of other risk factors. I don't know if I should go ahead with that.
Okay, yeah, you can.
All right, okay. So cancer generally, up till now, we cannot say exactly because of cancers in the body.
Exactly.
But the best we know now is that there are certain risks that predispose a man or a woman or a child or an adult to developing a certain cancer. For prostate cancers, there are what we call major and established risk factors.
Okay.
First of them is age. Prostate cancer is quite rare in men below the age of 40. And the risk increases as a man ages. So the prevalence of prostate cancer in men in the 4th and 5th decade of life is quite low compared to 5th, 7th, and 8th decade of life. So the risk actually increases with age. So, and that is the major risk factor. And that is why for men less than 40 years of age, it is not likely that they will develop prostate cancer, even though they can develop cancers of other parts of the body. But as one hits that 40, 50, 60, 70, and above, the risk of developing prostate cancer increases. So age is one of the most important, major, and established risk factor for prostate cancer.
Okay, now,
yes, please.
do we now say that prostate cancer is for the elderly?
Yes, it's a disease of middle age and the elderly that is much more commoner in the elderly. So you are correct in a way. But
okay.
Of course, it can occur in middle age, just like I said, 40, 45, 50, but the incidence is quite low compared to the elderly. So you are right in a way that it's a disease of the elderly. However, it's common and can be found in middle age as low as 40, 45, 50 years of age.
All right, now, doctor, at what age now do you suggest that men, since it's an ailment that is mainly associated with men, at what age do you think they should start checking themselves to prevent, as they say, early detection is key?
Thank you very much. That is the right word. Early detection is the key. Because the truth of the matter is that you cannot prevent prostate cancer totally. And I will tell you the reason why. So if you cannot prevent it totally, then the aim or the goal should be early detection. And maybe I should just talk about the two other major risk factors then before I talk about this age that we advise people to screen.
Okay.
I've talked about age. The second most important risk factor is race. Prostate cancer is commoner in black men all over the world compared to their white counterparts, Chinese counterparts, and the people of other racial origins. Yeah. So it's something that is very, very common in black. So you can see age number one, race number two. And the third is what we mentioned earlier, family history. Genetic factors, hereditary factors. It runs in family. And the risk a man in a family has is dependent on the degree of relatedness to an individual in the family that has it. For example, if a brother has it in the family, the risk is almost like 4 times than the general population. Secondly, aside from the degree of relatedness, the number of family members affected. If 2 or 3 members of a family have been affected by prostate cancer, the risk is higher for other members of the family that are yet to be diagnosed. So it has a lot of genetic implications. And of course, if the 2 or 3 generations have had it, the likelihood that the next generation in that family will have it is also high.
Oh, okay, doctor, let me cut you in here. There is this myth that prostate cancer is as a result of a man's sexual activity. Is this true?
That is one of the numerous erroneous beliefs about prostate cancer. Prostate cancer has nothing to do with sexual activity, at least as of today. Science has not established that. So maybe I should use this opportunity to talk about few erroneous conceptions about the cause of prostate cancer. As I said earlier, we don't know the cause yet, but there are risk factors. Whether excessive sex or inadequate sex, celibacy, sexually transmitted disease, multiple sexual partners, all of this has no role in the development or causation of prostate cancer.
What is the role of enlightenment campaign here? How can it help in the fight to reduce the spread of prostate cancer?
Thank you very much. Public health enlightenment holds a key role in detection of prostate cancer at an early stage. And what should be the message? The message is for men to take responsibility for their health by going forward to do screening. And when we are talking about screening, I'm back to the question that I was unable to answer the other time. We usually advocate that men start to screen, usually at the age of 50. However, if a man belongs to a family where prostate cancer runs in that family, we expect such family member, male members of that family, to start screening from 40 years of age. So the age at which we recommend screening is 50 years for people without family history of prostate cancer, and 40 for people that have established prostate cancer running in the family. Now, what do we do in the screening? The screening entails 3 major things. There are 3 tools that we normally use to screen for prostate cancer. One of them is a blood test. We call it prostate-specific antigen. All men at this age will endeavor to have one, whether they have symptoms or they don't have symptoms. Number 2, they should present to a doctor, preferably a urologist, that will do examination of their prostate. We call it digital rectal examination, and feel the prostate, whether it is normal or abnormal. And the 3rd test is to do a scan of the prostate, which can be transrectal through the anus or through the abdomen. So these are the 3 tools that we normally use to screen for prostate cancer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rufus Ojewola. I know there is a lot to talk about, but time will not permit us. But I hope that our people will take this advice to heart and start doing their checks regularly. Thank you, Dr. Rufus, for sharing your thoughts with us on Panorama. Panorama will continue after this break. Please stay with us. The Delta variant is now the dominant COVID-19 strain, and it is spreading rapidly. This is a threat to the fight against the pandemic. Hengino June Adams examines the extent of its presence in Lagos.
The Delta variant, according to recent research, targets the younger population, unlike previous strains.
The workforce will be challenged because this younger population are the workforce of the country, and then the economy will take a batter.
This development poses a huge setback to the progress achieved in the fight against the pandemic. In Lagos, the 3rd surge, dominated by the Delta strain, has already claimed more than 135 lives. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu recently disclosed that positivity rate has increased to 12.1% in the past 2 weeks, compared to 7% recorded at the end of July.
As long as transmission continues to persist among the general populace, so as much as we will expect the virus to mutate to form a new kind of variant.
Medical experts recommend that, in addition to familiar preventive protocols, individuals must be acquainted with how the variant presents.
People who have these particular variants, they present with, sort of cold and cough symptoms, headache, and, fever. Some people have fever. So it just looks more like somebody's had a flu.
As Nigerians stay optimistic about a return to normalcy, experts advise that vaccination and utmost compliance with preventive measures are in order to get the country out of the woods.
Now to the daily updates. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced 460 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria as at the 30th of August 2021. Rivers recorded the highest number of new cases with 164, followed by Lagos with 139, Edo 61, FCT 37, Bayelsa 20, Oyo 14. Others are Plateau 7, Ogun 6, Anambra and Benue 4 cases each, Enugu 2, Cross River and Kaduna 1 case each. There are now 191,805 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria, with 178,492 treated and discharged, and sadly 2,455 deaths recorded across the country. Olumide Guntola